Because nobody wants to answer the question who the real GOAT is now that the resumes are similar between Hal and Zer0. I don't think really anyone backstabbed anyone, bro. It's just low-key business. I think the GOAT is whoever you think. My GOAT is Hal. No questions asked. ImperialHal is my GOAT. I haven't really listened to both sides, but like dropping anybody from any roster is never gonna be like super smooth unless it's a completely mutual decision. But a lot of the times, bro, what happens, especially in Apex, people try to keep that org spot and they'll do whatever the fuck they can to keep that org spot, man. Like they want to be the ones that's getting paid. But I have no idea what happened with those guys. I haven't really looked at that much too much. I might actually watch Hal's VOD and actually listen to what happened because I genuinely am curious. But like you guys got to realize with Apex too, things move really quickly. Especially now, things like move super fast. You know, 1 month you're competing under an org, and then the next month, bro, you got to make a roster change in order to actually play in the BLGS. So things do move really, really quick. Things move super fast, and sometimes things just are not going to be respectful. I will also say, as someone who has now been around esports for 6 years, you know, in the mix with 100 Thieves and hearing the ins and outs of esports, bro, esports is sometimes really fucking grimy. Like really, really grimy, man. I have no idea what Hal's VOD's going to say, but I am curious what he does say. I don't know if there's clips of it.
Thanks for 50.
Let's see. Yeah, so what it seems like, bro, is, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm really not much of a drama fish myself, but what it seems like is like they had to go through like the basic routine of just, of behind the scenes stuff, but I don't really know. I'm curious from Jen's POV what it looked like. It seemed like they just had to go through and figure out if they could drop Genburten or not. All right, wait. This is Vaxon's watching this.
It's just like the fact that I didn't have a notice.
Wait, so it looks like Jen's more upset that he just didn't get notified. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, bro. It seems like it seems like they just didn't tell Genburten quick enough. And obviously, being a teammate with somebody for like, what was it, 4 years, 5 years of Zer0? I don't even know what it was. I'd be pretty pissed if I didn't find out from Jen or from Zer0 as like a respect thing, you know? It's really tough too because Hal and them do have like tons of procedures to go through and like protocols to go through to make sure like they're not absolutely fucking over themselves, but also their team. But I think at the end of the day, it does make sense that Jen would be slightly upset not knowing and hearing from the actual teammates themselves, because the way that works, bro, is you hear that from somebody else. You're wondering what shit was said about you behind the scenes that you don't even fucking know, you know? Like that means there were discussions about dropping you that you had no idea were even happening. And they don't have the respect to tell you to your face, like, or a call. I feel like that's definitely a little bit ridiculous. And that's not cool. That would from a friend perspective, bro, if I knew somebody for 3 years and I was getting dropped or I played with them, I would be super fucking mad. I also think like, my thing is, I don't know where some of y'all are from, but like, that's, if you have a problem with somebody where I'm from, like, you know, I'm not from like, New York, from upstate New York, but I'm from an Italian family, you know, and then Albanian family as well, but Italian mainly. And the way that we operate, if we have a problem with someone, friends or family, it's discussed almost immediately. Like that's how it has to go. And I feel like knowing someone for 3 years, if I was thinking about dropping somebody, I would probably tell them almost ASAP. Like that would be my thing for sure. That's like, I think just has to happen. So I could totally see why Genburten would be more upset about like the common decency not really being there of hearing it from his teammates and more so hearing it from somebody else. That's very valid. But the reality of the situation is that's probably the only thing that Hal and Zer0 really did wrong. I don't know. That's kind of it. Like the other protocols they're going through, it's actually like a super sticky situation. Like you're hearing Hal talk about it and he's not lying. Like Hal's definitely being honest for sure. You know? For sure. Without a doubt. Like there's visa issues. There's other things you have to take account for. You know, time zone difference. They don't even know if they can get Waltzy. They don't even know if they can drop Jen. They don't know if the visa's going to fuck over Jen, so they don't want to do it. Like it low-key just does make sense what Hal is saying, and both sides are right. Like, Hal and Zer0 did what they needed to do to make it fucking work, and then also at the same time, they just didn't. Gen is allowed to feel disrespected, not hearing it from his teammates. I'm gonna be real. Both sides are extremely valid, and that's also just esports. If you want everything to be clean in esports, then guess what? You can't give players this much control of their rosters. Congratulations. You're now finding out how Apex esports has been operating for the last 5 years, and it's actually super fucking unprofessional and not fucking great. Congrats. You're just now finding out all of this because roster media has been happening the last year and a half. Like, hello? I've heard 40 times worse things throughout the Apex scene. I would never, ever talk about it because it's not my place, but I've heard 30 times worse things happen in the Apex scene behind the scenes with roster changes, etc. People getting fucked over a lot harder than that. So, Gen, allowed to feel disrespected in my personal opinion. Who fucking really cares about mine? It's just how I would go if I was Gen. I'd be pissed if I was Gen, but I'd understand being dropped. And if I'm Hal and Zer0, I'd be pissed that everyone thinks I'm just some snake when in reality I had to go through like all these procedures to make sure that they can drop him and do what they needed to do to move on from the roster. It is what it is, bro. I don't think anyone's snakes. I don't think anyone's a piece of shit. Personally, like it's a dropping someone situation, and it's never gonna go really smoothly when it's in the player's hands. And that's just the fucking reality. It should be the coach/GM team manager bottom of the convo. Yeah, we want to handle things on CLG, bro. It's always through that. You know, I've had situations in my rosters when I was like playing that things were not really smooth at all, and orgs had to step in, and I actually felt the most comfortable when orgs did step in, and there was like a happy medium between like me and another player, and then like a voice of like a team manager. It really helped out a lot. I just think that should be the protocol for pretty much every esports org involved in Apex. Pro players just should not have total control of the roster. People are emotional after losses. People are emotional after winning. People, especially after losses, like to make changes really quick without thinking of the long-term repercussions or, you know, the long-term game because they want immediate satisfaction after losing, and that shit's stupid. So that's why I'm against contracts of esports orgs being extremely predatory towards players and keeping them in contract jail. That is absolute bullshit. But I'm also against players having full control of who they're playing with in full contracts. That's like full control of their rosters. I think it's also really unprofessional in that aspect. And this is when people do get fucked over in the long term. So, you know, that's just how it goes. I don't really agree with the way that Apex esports moves when it comes to roster changes. I've never agreed with it once. And, yeah, dude, we got a Yanya POV today. Let's focus on the positives, man.